The 2025 preseason testing is only a week away, and the first race cannot arrive soon enough. This season, 4 teams will compete for wins, podiums, and maybe the Drivers and Constructors Championships. Red Bull's RB21, McLaren's MCL39, Ferrari's SF25, and Mercedes W16 all have significant developments and news around them. You don't want to miss this. A lot of news, rumors, and leaks from many sources illustrate how far the top 4 have come over the winter. So, let's assess these changes and see where each team stands heading into the very competitive 2025 season. But before I'll tell you all the secrets about the 2025 challengers, let's dive into what's likely going to be the main focal point for teams this season, as we can all imagine. The floor is the primary focus in this generation of cars, because it is the floor that truly alters a car's aerodynamic philosophy, how it performs on different circuits, and what setup works best for the car. So, we can expect to see the biggest changes in this regard. Ferrari. Let's start with the prancing horses. Ferrari is the team that most of you have wanted to learn more about, and perhaps the team with the most hype around it for 2025. Aside from the fantastic marketing campaign they've launched around Lewis in recent weeks, the SF25 is also coming together nicely back at Maranello. According to Frédéric Vasseur, Ferrari's 2025 car will change the most out of the top 4 teams, 99%. We already know that the suspension has been switched from pushrod to pull rod arrangement, which is a substantial change and could already result in huge performance swings. The team recently conducted tests on the SF23 and SF24 in Barcelona to learn more about tyre warming and degradation. The SF23 was fantastic at firing up its tyres, whilst the SF24 was excellent at preserving its life. However, a competent race car requires a balance of the two, and the suspension adjustment is intended to address this. The car's rear-end stability should noticeably improve. The car's side pods are being moved back, allowing more floor space to improve flow condition and fluid mass at the rear end, hence enhancing stability and lowering drag. It is rumored that these changes, combined with Lewis Hamilton's direct impact in the simulator and on track, have resulted in a gain of about 1 second per lap for the team in red. If this is true, they can surely be seen as the frontrunners for the start of the season. McLaren. Let's dive into last year's championship winner's car. McLaren are arguably the favourites, next to Ferrari, for the 2025 season. The car itself was the greatest in 2024, but the team has committed to taking bold design risks with its 2025 model. This will be a development of their 2024 model, with significant alterations made to the underfloor design. We've already got to see the quote-real 2025 McLaren Challenger with a camo livery, which surprisingly ran at Silverstone last week, giving us hints on the possible design directions McLaren are taking for the MCL39. For starters, the side pod inlet clear has been updated to a P-style intake, comparable to Mercedes. We got a reprofiled engine cover with a design close to that of the Ferrari SF24, particularly after receiving the improved version in Imola, targeted at enhancing aero efficiency. The airbox has been reprofiled, and the entrance has been expanded to allow more air into the cooling system. The front wing, nose, and fourth element have all been reprofiled to improve aerodynamics. A large front suspension design adjustment was undertaken to boost the anti-dive angle, as evidenced by the wishbone and pull rod arrangement. McLaren also used Ferrari Cobra wings here. Brake ducts are redesigned to improve aerodynamic performance, but we'll have to wait a little longer to discover where the 2025 McLaren actually is. Given how successfully they developed the MCL38, they remain most people's favourites this season. After the upgrades at the start of 2024, that car worked everywhere. One flaw it had was drag troubles, which they attempted to offset with the micro DRSPR trick, which is now plainly forbidden, so they will have to do something about it. In terms of teammate combination, Lando is slowly becoming the complete package, and as long as Oscar improves his race pace, handling these Pirelli tyres better across 15 to 20 laps. This driver pairing will be one of the best, second only to Ferrari's Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. and if McLaren can work on their upgrades, they might win it all. At this moment, it's rumoured they have found about half a second of time with the new version of the MCL 39. Red Bull. Looking ahead to 2025, Red Bull is likely to face one of the most difficult challenges: developing a car that could operate wherever. The 2024 season showed many flaws in the Red Bull ideology in terms of car setup, with performance fluctuating significantly more from circuit to circuit than it did in 2023. Moving away from the 2023 platform has hurt Red Bull in the short and medium term, and with them closing of 2024 with a stable but slow car, they might be in for a rude awakening in 2025. Speaking with Automotor and Sport, Adrian Newey claimed that Red Bull was experiencing these issues with the RB19 to some level, as the car became increasingly difficult to drive. As a result, Checo and Max had a vastly different speed. However, Max, according to Newey, handled it better, despite the fact that it did not suit his driving style. However, these issues became obvious when McLaren and Ferrari made their respective jumps in the 2024 season. That stable platform was no longer available, so they had to make bold changes, which obviously didn't go as expected. The team did find some pace in Vegas, where they tweaked the floor design, but in Abu Dhabi, the RB20 fell behind Ferrari and McLaren. As a result, the RB21 will require a complete redesign of the underfloor in order to rethink the weight distribution over the floor. The front wing is also being redesigned for 2025. It is intended to be a new wing design with far more flexibility. The team did not reinstate the flexi front wing in 2024, and the flexibility rules implemented in 2023 will not be altered for this season. As a result, each team will be permitted a certain amount of flexibility. Mercedes, McLaren, and Ferrari have all used flex to enhance performance, and Red Bull will now do the same with their front wing for the RB21. All this does is offer the Red Bull car a larger operating window, which will be critical for race speed. Rumours suggest that Red Bull will need to find somewhere between 0.8 and a full second of lap time to be a prominent competitor in 2025. Their car was far behind in terms of racing pace. Sometimes they were competing for the win alongside McLaren and Ferrari, but other times, such as at Monza, they were 0.8 of a second behind. And with other teams finding lap times close to half a second or even more, Red Bull is in for a challenge. So there's a lot of work to be done back in Milton Keynes. The team is gearing up for a busy winter, and this is what we've heard thus far. However, will a new floor design and front wing be enough to challenge the frontrunners again? Or is there more than we've just heard from rumours? Mercedes. Finally, among the top 4 teams, Mercedes has the most rumours and intrigue. The 2025 car is thought to be the most distinctive this season. The team is trying to hide many design specifics from competing teams. They had earlier claimed that they would not reveal the car until preseason testing, but now they have scheduled a digital release date of February 24th. Mercedes has something for this season, and I'm intrigued what it is. According to what we know so far, Mercedes will make several innovations, comparable to last year's fascinating front wing design. Its design did not work, so the crew had to go with the flexi-wing option, but it does not mean it was not a great piece of engineering. However, it leaves some wondering. Now that Hamilton is gone, does Russell have enough technical expertise to bring the team forward? Can they make that jump from 4th in the Constructors to attack the front, especially with Antonelli by Russell's side? One thing is certain, this is going to be a major year for these teams, and I expect everyone to make significant changes. Everyone has an equal chance of winning both championships this season. I'm excited for the new season. But what about you? What do you all think? Share your predictions and thoughts in the comments below. And on your way down, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be notified of future uploads and stay up to date on the 2025 Formula 1 season.